Let's make sure audio's working okay. All right, audio is working fine and we're ready to go. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Malin coming at you with a brand new rebuild for Madden 25. Last video, we wrapped up the full-on, really, Dallas Cowboys rebuild and decided to start up a new rebuild with, you looked at it and you see what it is, the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, some of y'all may be kind of looking and thinking, well, the Bengals have Joe Burrow as their franchise quarterback. Jamar Chase is the face of the franchise. But this team, based on last season in real life, was not good on defense. And that's one of the reasons why the Bengals were on the outside looking in when it came to not being in the playoffs for the last few years. They've had injuries, they've had bad defenses, and it's up to me to see if I can take over the Bengals and turn things around and hopefully turn them into a Super Bowl championship team. The Bengals are one of the teams in the NFL who have never won a Super Bowl. They've played in three Super Bowls in the past, most recently in 2021 when Joe Burrow was in his second season, and so was Jamar Chase. But it's been a few years since the Bengals have gotten back to that level of play. And, this team is in a pretty tough division. You got the Ravens and you got the Steelers who are pretty good. The Browns I'm not really concerned about, but it's the Ravens and the Steelers that could give this team some trouble at times. Because I know one thing. When I did one of my early rebuilds in Madden 25 in my Cleveland Browns rebuild, that was really tough just to be able to make it to a wild card position because the division is so stacked with really good teams. So hopefully with a solid franchise quarterback and a guy like Joe Burrow, we can turn this team into a Super Bowl championship team pretty soon. So let's meet the squad of the 2024 Bengals. Of course, there he is, the man from LSU, Joe Burrow, 27 years old, 96 overall quarterback, scheme fit guy for sure. Definitely the face of the franchise. This kind of gives me vibes of the Chargers rebuild that I did with having a guy like Justin Herbert as a franchise quarterback, but just putting enough pieces around him so that this team can turn into a competitive team in the Super Bowl era and hopefully win a championship in the near future. And, of course, backing him up is Jake Browning, who, of course, in 2023 got a lot of playing time because Joe Burrow was hurt. He's 69 overall. Obviously, there's going to need to be some improvement at the backup quarterback position, but as the starter's concerned, we're good and set with Joe Burrow. Running back is a position that I think does need an upgrade. We got a 79 overall Chase Brown as the starter. This, of course, is the first year that Joe Mixon has departed. He's now in Houston. So I feel like in losing Joe Mixon, the Bengals really did lose a running back who could carry the load for this offense. So I think that's going to be one of the biggest things I'm going to try to do during the first offseason of this rebuild is try to find a running back, maybe even a free agent running back who may become available who's in the 80s, who can maybe be a guy that could get it in the 90s, who's a young guy, and really turn him into the main ball carrier for this team. Chase Brown, 1 year, 24 years old, 79 overall. The ceiling is there, but if he's not going to be better than like a low 80s guy, that's not, to me, a running back that I feel like can carry this load on offense. The draft is another possibility, but for this rebuild, I want to kind of mix it up a little bit because I always seem to go with like a running back in the last few rebuilds that I've done. This year, I don't really know if I want to do that. I think I really want to go with maybe a free agent running back, like a well-known guy, maybe somebody like a J.K. Dobbins or somebody like that who could turn into a really good pickup, and be like the main free agent acquisition for the Bengals in the first offseason, just turn this team around. We also got Zach Moss as the backup as well, 77. We got a 76 Khalil Herbert. We got Chris Evans and Williams. None of these guys are really too impressive. But Chase Brown is our starter for this season. We don't have a fullback. I'll go and sign one. Jamar Chase, the man who just got the big bucks to start this offseason, 97 overall. Of course, I may be dealing with, another contract situation with him to make sure that he stays. So that's another big deal. T. Higgins is a little bit of a kind of question mark for me. 86 overall receivers, don't grow on trees. So I'm thinking I'm going to try to maybe ink him to a short-term deal. I know that in real life he signed a massive extension. I don't know if I want as many years as the Bengals gave him in real life on that extension. I may go with like maybe 2 to 3 years, but I want to keep T. Higgins here at least after this season to keep our receiving core intact in terms of the talent that we have. A 97 and 86. I know 86 is pretty far drop-off, but T. Higgins is a guy that, he's not going to just, appear in free agency or appear in the draft, a guy like him. So I think keeping T. Higgins beyond this year is going to be a good idea. Andre Isovius. I have no idea who that is. That's a crazy name. 71 overall. I mean, 24. That's not bad. Future guy. Burton, Charlie Jones, Isaiah Williams. Not really familiar with those guys. Gesicki, our tight end, 79 overall. Gesicki's a guy that, he could get into the 80s, and he may be a guy worth keeping, but I don't know. You got guys like Drew Sample as well, who've been here for several years. I don't really see too much investing in him. Eric All Jr., interesting name, 70 overall. So tight end could use a bit of an upgrade if we don't keep Gesicki long term. Left tackle, 79, Orlando Brown Jr. That's solid starting out at left tackle, but it could be a little bit better. 72 left guard in Volson. 78 Ted Karras. 72 Chapa, and an 86 Trent Brown. Trent Brown is our highest rated offensive lineman, and he's only at an 86. So offensive line might be an area that I might need to invest in. I like Orlando Brown Jr., and maybe he'll be up to the 80s in the next year or two. But, right guard could definitely use an upgrade, and left guard could use an upgrade as well. Those guys are both 72s, and I feel like I do better there. Left end, Sam Hubbard, 76. I know that's not bad, but that's not really overly impressive. 71 Cam Sample still, not super young, but still has probably some more growth there. Miles Murphy, one-year man out of Clemson. He could be a guy that might be our starter if he develops in the next couple of seasons. Only 22 years old, so there's a lot of upside there. At the other defensive end, of course, we have Trey Hendrickson, 92 overall, arguably our top-rated defensive player. He's definitely going to be somebody I'm going to hope to keep on the defensive line to build this around. We got a Joseph Osai, who's 72. We got an Isaiah Thomas, not the Detroit Pistons Isaiah Thomas, 66 overall. We got B.J. Hill, who's 77 defensive tackle, 74 Rankin. So defensive tackle could use an upgrade. Chris Jenkins Jr., obviously, I assume his dad is Chris Jenkins, who played for the Jets and Panthers all those years. I would just assume that. 73, Jackson, 69, Tolfi, 68. So, yeah, defensive tackle could use some improvement. B.J. Hill is not that bad, but if I could get a defensive tackle in the first offseason, maybe in the 80s, that would be a big help. We have no left outside linebackers. Okay. I'm definitely going to have to go sign one. Jermaine Pratt, 78 overall, solid middle linebacker. Hopefully he'll be up to the 80s by some point this season, but not a dominant guy. Logan Wilson, 81, our second probably highest rated defensive player that I've seen so far. That's not bad. Decent linebacker, only 28 years old. Still has probably a few more years until maybe he regresses. Corners, not too bad. Mike Hilton, 82. Cam Taylor-Britt is an 82 as well. Two solid corners. That's not bad. 79 DJ Turner. 80 Geno Stone. So we got our third guy in the 80s or above. An 80 free safety, Geno Stone. 25 years old. 77 Von Bell, although he's hurt. So a strong safety could use an upgrade for sure. Kicker, Evan McPherson is solid, even though he's only a 74. And we've got Renko, who's a 71 punter. So there's some positions that could use some upgrades at some of the skill positions, like at running back, and definitely on the offensive line. It's a lot of positions there. But when you have a franchise quarterback like Joe Burrow, it's just a matter, I think, kind of like I did with the approach of the Chargers and Justin Herbert, get some pieces around him and help turn this team into a really good one. So I'm going to sign some free agents because we don't have a fullback on the roster. And we don't have a left outside linebacker either, not one. I'm actually going to probably go ahead and sign two just because. I want to see, are there any guys on? No. Okay, so at this point, there would be nobody on the practice squad because the preseason hasn't started yet. I'm going to go ahead and sign Devondre Campbell to be our starting left outside linebacker for this season. I'm going to go ahead and sign him to a one-year deal, and I'm going to go sign somebody else. Somebody who's not really expensive, though. Leave for a scheme fit guy. I'm going to go with Jermaine Carter Jr. to be a backup left outside linebacker for us. So that way we have starters there taken care of. And let me go out and get a fullback because we don't have one. I'm going to bring in Xander Horvath to be our starting fullback for this season. Normally I know we go with Boston Game, but I'm trying to mix it up a little bit. Give us a different edge there. So let me go ahead and take a look at our roster at the beginning of the preseason Kind of take a look at the linebacker spots here. So in the fullback spots, so Horvath comes in to be our starting fullback. 6'7" is not that great, but still, it's starting fullback. Devondre Campbell, 72, 68 Jermaine Carter Jr. Then again, these guys are only on one-year deal, so I don't know how much longer I'll keep them. Campbell may retire soon. I mean, 72 overall, 31 years old on the back end of his career, but needed a starter, found one in a 7-2 left outside linebacker. So hopefully that'll help out a little bit for the first year with this team. So let's go ahead and simulate through the preseason, and let's get our roster all fixated and everything, and we'll get going for the first season in 2024. It's been a decent amount of Maddens since I actually rebuilt the Bengals. I think I rebuilt them in Madden 20 when they were basically getting the number one overall pick, which wound up being Joe Burrow because they were one of the worst teams. That was Andy Dalton's last year in Cincinnati, and it was one of A.J. Green's last. I think his last year was 2020. Yeah, because I remember because he came back in a game against Dallas and he played his final game as played his final season as a Bengal in the last few games. So, yeah. All right, well, let me go ahead and actually check out our stat. We got 33 skill points to spend. Zach Taylor, I think, is a guy that I'm going to keep until, the wheels start to fall off, we start losing games, and, we start to struggle. Let's do some upgrades, actually, for our offensive coordinator, because we could use some upgrades with him. Let's go ahead and do Drawn Up, and we'll get some skill points there. We only have 13 to spend. That's not enough for any upgrades. Let's go to 16. Let's go and cut our roster down. Let's get everything kind of situated here. I could sign a third quarterback, but don't really feel like that's completely necessary. Milton, I'm going to go ahead and actually put him on practice squad. I'm going to go ahead and cut Williams. We have, 4 running backs now? Can I cut Evans and not have a cap penalty? Yeah, that'll incur a penalty, so I'm not going to do that. I'll come back to that. But we have a lot of cuts to make. We still got to cut like 14 players. I'm going to move Williams to the practice squad. Charlie Jones, I'm going to do the same thing with you. 2, 3, 4. Okay, we only have 4 receivers now. Normally I like to keep 5, but I didn't realize we were kind of short in that department. Cam Grady, I'm going to move him to practice squad. And I'm going to do the same thing with McGlachian. We have 4 tight ends. I can't cut Hudson. I can actually cut Drew Sample. I'll incur a penalty, so I'm not going to do that. We got, more left tackles. I'm going to put Kirkland on practice squad, and don't have a lot of depth on the offensive line, so I can't really cut a lot of these guys. Cochran, I'm actually going to move him to practice squad so we don't lose him. Mims, that'll incur a penalty, so no, I'm not going to move Mims to practice squad because somebody will definitely snatch him up. I'm going to move Johnson to practice squad. I want Miles Murphy to play this season. Thomas, I'll move you to practice squad as well. Still got to make a lot of cuts, though. Can I cut Turfley? All right. And I'm going to put Jackson, practice squad. Left outside linebacker, we have 2 of them, so I don't want to cut any of them. Gometa, I'm going to put you on practice squad, right outside linebackers. I'm going to move Hayward to practice. Cornerbacks, a lot of them, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Can I cut Ivy? I only cure a penalty, so I don't want to do that. Cut Anderson, that'll be a penalty. We got 2. I'm going to go ahead and cut KUR. We don't need a secondary kicker. McPherson's the guy. We need to cut 1 more player. 4 running backs. Cure a penalty if we do that. I'm just going to cut bait with Khalil Herbert now. I know that that's 76 running back we're letting walk, but he's not our starter. So I'm okay with letting him go. So let's advance to the first week of the regular season. Hopefully a bunch of guys aren't snatching from our practice squad, but I, almost expected at this point. So, yeah. All right, let's get our 2025 draft class in here. Let's make sure everything's correct. We got Milrose, Sanders, Beck, and everybody. Yeah, that is definitely the right draft class. starting off against the Patriots to open up the regular season. I want to check and see if we have any injuries to start off the year. I don't think we do. Hopefully we don't. Chase Brown, he's going to miss the opening day game with an ACL sprain, but it's just 1 week. So we don't have our starting running back to open up the season. But let's simulate to the middle of the season and see where the Bengals are in year 1. See where we're at. 3-4. That's kind of where I expected us to be in the first year. So, still got plenty of work to do. You see the ratings: 82 overall team, 84 offense, 81 defense. Still got work to do if we want to compete with the big teams. Philadelphia, meanwhile, is coming in here at 6-0, undefeated. So, let's check out who we got to negotiate with, and let's see what we can do. Let me go position by position. Sometimes it's easier to do. Chris Evans, I'm willing to let you walk. We can get better at fullback in the offseason, but T. Higgins is the big guy. I want to see if this neutral deal is going to be enough. Offer's perfect. Great. Down to 53, though, but that's not too bad considering where we are. Gesicki, though, is going to need a whole bunch of convincing in order to keep him here. That's the thing that, I feel like that it's worth letting him walk. We probably get an upgraded tight end in the offseason. Center, we don't have any centers. Contracts are up. All these guys are really backups on the offensive line anyway. Trent Brown, though, I think is somebody that is worth keeping around because I don't know if we can get better instantly at right tackle in the first wave of free agency. He's excited to sign, great, but now, of course, we're down to, only $33 million to work with. We'll restructure some of these contracts, and hopefully that'll help out a little bit. None of those guys are starters, but B.J. Hill is. But I think I can upgrade defensive tackle in the offseason at 77. So I'm willing to let that guy walk. Linebackers, left outside linebackers, both those guys are free agents. They really don't want to come back. So I'm going to let both of them walk. Davis Gaither's a backup. Corners, we got an 81 Mike Hilton. That's going to be tough to replace. So I'm going to see if he'll come back for one more season. Exactly the offer I was hoping for. Great. Bring us down to $27 million, though. We got our second corner inked for one more season. These other guys can walk. Dax Hill is tempting, but I'm willing to let him walk. No free safeties. Von Bell is is a fringe starter, but I'm going to have to let him walk. And our punter's contract is up, but we can probably improve at punter in the offseason. So as far as I'm concerned, those are the only negotiations that I want to do as far as bringing back players. Leaves with $27 million left to do what we need to do in free agency. And we can, restructure some of these contracts once we get to the offseason and hopefully take some of the pressure off of T. Higgins' deal so that we can still do some moves. And we actually beat the Philadelphia Eagles, not knocking them off the undefeated ranks. So we are now 4-4, which is pretty good. But we have a new injury, and it must be serious. Zach Moss has a broken toe. He's out for 4 weeks, and he is our backup running back. But we have other backups behind our main guys, so not too concerned about signing somebody to help fill the void for a little bit. McKinney Jackson got signed off from the practice squad, so we lost a player. I think we can find it and get into the playoffs. Maybe, but we'll see. If we're at 4-4 right now, what is our division standing? We're third in the division. The Ravens are 6-2. Steelers are 5-3. So looking like the Ravens are going to win the division this year. So we kind of can't really slip up. But, I'm not expecting playoffs technically in the first year. Hopefully we're not too well under 500. Raiders are 2-6. This we play this week. We beat the Raiders only by 1 point. And now we got a big matchup against the Ravens. 5-4, they're 7-2. This one could determine whether we're going to compete for a playoff spot this year, if I'm being frank. And we lost by 8. That's not that bad of a loss, but still a loss. And now we're back to 500 and 5-5. Browns are 2-7, just kind of like I suspected. They're not very good this year. So yeah, let me take a look at stats. I want to see how the offense is doing. So Joe Burrow is throwing for 2,500 yards. Got 24 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. That's typical Joe Burrow numbers. Our passing game is probably the biggest thing keeping us afloat in most of these games this year. Running-wise, Chase Brown hasn't even hit 500 yards yet, although he was carried the ball 110 times. That's still a lot of carries. 4 touchdowns on the year, 2 of them from Zach Moss. So our running game really isn't that great. We're not really getting too much out of Brown. Receiving wise, we got Jamar Chase almost at 900 yards, 10 touchdowns. Iosivas actually is our second receiver. Higgins is our third receiver with 4 touchdowns. So he's second, tied for second in touchdowns, 480 yards on the year. We got 5 actually from Gesicki, so he's the second leader in touchdowns if I stand corrected. Chase Brown has 2 of them, but Jamar Chase is doing his thing. What about on defense? Logan Wilson is leading us in tackles. Who's leading us in sacks? Maybe we only have 3.5 sacks as our leader. We got 3 from Hendrickson, 3 from Hubbard, 3.5 from Rankin, so he's leading us in sacks. Interceptions, we only have guys that have 2 of them. We've got Dax Hill and we've got Mike Hilton, who each have 2. So our top and Britt only has 1. So defensively, we're kind of making some plays, but it looks like that we're still giving up a lot of points, giving up a lot of yardage, at least what I can see from these scores. Our offense has probably been the biggest thing that's kept us alive in most of these games. And we've got the Chargers on deck. They're 8-1. We're 5-5. Tough matchup here. And we lost pretty convincingly by 19 points. Got a media question to answer. You're fighting for playoff. There will be some changes to the roster. So I'm going to say that, especially with kind of how we're slipping right now, especially at 5-6 with the way the division is stacking up this year. I mean, Pittsburgh is 7-3. The Ravens are 8-3. I don't even know if at this point we can even catch the Steelers to be able to compete for a wild card spot. So that's kind of where we're at right now. But we have 23 skill points to spend, so I'm going to do some upgrades to the staff. Let's go to Ian Alexander, our defensive coordinator here. Let's do some upgrades here. Just a cramp. Let's go ahead and do an upgrade there. And move on to our next game. Regular season's kind of winding down here. We've got our bye week this week, so go ahead and get through this. And I think we got the Steelers, and we got a tough road here. We got the Steelers, who are second in the division, behind the Ravens only by 1 game. Of course, we're 5-6, trying to fight for anything at this point, some kind of playoff positioning. This matchup against the Steelers is going to be pretty tough, and it could very well determine if our season's done. Yeah, and I think you might as well just kind of stick a fork in us for this year. Just not good enough to be second in the AFC North and compete for a division title just yet. The Steelers actually are number 1 in the division at 9-3, but they play 1 less game. The Ravens are 9-4. So it looks like there might be room for the Steelers and the Ravens in the playoffs, but definitely not for a third team. But we're playing the Dallas Cowboys, who are 4-8, and I think that Dak is healthy, so even without Dak, they're still a 4-8 football team, which is actually worse than what they look like in real life. So maybe this is a matchup we could win on the road. But no, it's not. We lose to the Cowboys by 14 points. So yeah, it's looking like our defense. Let me see actually kind of how our defense stacks up with the rest of the league. So defense. Who has the worst defense? We have the 3rd worst defense in the NFL. We've given up the 3rd most yards in the league. How many points have we given up? Looks like we've given up the most points in the league. No, we haven't, but we're still high up there. Saints have given up 400 points for the season. So we've given up the 5th most points of any team in the league. Passing wise, we've given up actually not as much as far as passing. As far as total yards, we've given up 4,000, but pales in comparison with what the Saints have done. But I still think, as far as points, that kind of speaks for itself. I mean, we have basically the 4th worst defense as far as points given up in the league. As far as sacks, don't have a lot of them. Penalties, turnovers. Patriots have, like, I don't know, the best defenses. So, let's see. Team stats, view team cumulative stats, defensive yards, 16th in the NFL. Points scored, 20th in the NFL. Points allowed, 28th. Okay. Or it's 12th. Yeah. But like I said, this team needs some upgrades on defense because we're still giving up, it looks like, an average of at least 20 to 30, maybe even 40 points a game. So this defense does need upgrades. Well, we're playing a Titans team that's not very good. Let's see if we can get on the winning track and beat them. We've lost a bunch of games in a row. And we beat the Titans only by 6 points to get back to our winning ways. We got the Browns this week. They're the worst team in the division. At this point, we're fighting them for not going into the basement. And we are playing them at home, Battle of Ohio, the whole Paul Brown thing. We beat the Browns, so we beat our Ohio brethren by 17 points. So we're 7-8, so we at least have a chance to end the season with the winning record if we win out. So, I mean, positive a little bit. We have a new injury, so let's see who's hurt. Eric All Jr., tight end, is out for 5 weeks with a broken hand. Well, that's pretty much the whole rest of the season. So I'm going to go ahead and put him on IR, and he'll be deactivated for the rest of the season. So he's going to be on IR. How many tight ends do we have? I think we only have like 2, right? How many tight ends do we have if he's deactivated the rest of the season? I know we still got Gesicki. Oh, okay. We still have, I think, plenty of tight ends. Okay, so I'm not going to go and sign a tight end because we have at least 2 other ones active behind Gesicki, so we'll be fine. Broncos this week, they're 7-6, or 7-8, excuse me. We're 7-8 too. And we beat the Broncos by 10. So if we beat the Steelers in the final week of the regular season, we got a chance to end the year with a winning record. So, I mean, that's positive for the first year. Baltimore and Pittsburgh have clinched playoff spots, but none of them have clinched the division yet. I think it determines like what happens because the Ravens got to be playing the Browns, and of course, since we're playing the Steelers, that's the only thing that I can come up with. So if we beat the Steelers and the Ravens, even if the Ravens lose, they will win the AFC North. So I think that's the scenario for playoff positioning for the first season. So we could play, spoiler and at least keep the Steelers from winning the division if we beat them. So that would be a pretty positive thing. Let me see. Current alternate helmet. Let me go current helmet, actually. I want to put the orange helmet on. Nike away jersey. Nike. Let me see if I can give us like different pants. Nike alternate home pants. Nike home pants. I'm gonna go with the black pants and do things up a little differently to end the season.
It's week 18 of the National Football League.
Oh man, they got Joe Burrow with the blonde hair and everything. I think by the middle to the latter point of the season, his hair wasn't blonde anymore. I could be wrong about that. I just remember when he showed up to training camp and his hair was blonde. I mean, seriously, if you didn't think that he looked like a younger version of Eminem, I don't know what you were looking at. But anyway, taking on the Steelers at Heinz Field, or whatever it's called now. I don't think it's called Heinz Field anymore. But here we are. We got a chance to end the season with a winning record. So let's go out and try to get a dub. Get things done here. We go with Zach Moss. Oh, wide open hole for the touchdown. Let's go. Great way to start this game. Big time run by Zach Moss for the score.
A new set of downs awaits him. Here's 1st and 10. Working inside the red zone.
Good tackle right there by Wilson.
He'll go down here at the 16.
Only 2 yards gain on that play.
To go. Let's see how they approach this 2nd down. Going right side, Harris with it.
Oh, come on. Oh, are you serious? And Najee Harris just, had him dead to rights. Instead, Najee Harris breaks the tackle and walks into the end zone. That is why our defense needs improvement. Bad tackling. Poor technique. Just poor everything
So a
on
tough
that
spot
play.
now. This is 3rd and 9.
I think that sums up our defense in microcosm this season.
Cross now from the gun.
I mean, just like the Bengals in real life. I mean, their
Kicking out to his
defense
left.
struggles, and it's the reason that, you know, they might have gotten hot at the end of the season, but it really didn't matter because they couldn't get into the playoffs because their defense was the reason they lost. So we got a holding penalty on the Steelers, which helps us out a little bit.
And now we're going to wait to see how they respond.
Now it's 3rd and 19.
Now Wilson on
Oh, we
3rd
got a
and long.
free range.
He's
Rankins
got
can't.
Harris.
Oh my gosh! Don't let Najee. Okay, good. Thank y'all for making the tackle. I was about to say, Milton came up to make the play. Thank goodness. But the Steelers do get a field goal. Here we are on offense. A chance to go 2 minutes here. Got all 3 timeouts.
1st and 10.
Execute here and get this thing in the end zone. And get this lead back.
Out of the shotgun, Burrow. He had it
Come
for
on,
but a
Higgins.
great defensive play to jar it loose, incomplete. No dice on that prior pass. Here's 2nd down. Burrow out of the shotgun.
For Chase, but he couldn't
It's incomplete.
get away from the guy.
That was Jamar Chase
3rd
he
and
was looking
10.
for there. And that's going to leave him with a tough 3rd and long. They bring their tight end left. On 3rd down, here's Burrow.
Good throw. Let's go. There we go, Chase. First down.
He's brought down
It's called
after
timeout.
a nice gain and a 1st down.
And that was a marathon just to get that
They get a
first
timeout
down.
now from the Bengals. That's going to be their first. To throw again, it's Burrow.
Oh, man.
Holding up,
Sacked.
there it is. Cincinnati uses
And like
the
I said,
timeout.
O-line needs improvements too, and that's an example right there. Just didn't get enough time to make a play.
Trying again, following the sack.
Come on, Chase. Go get it. Here we go,
He's
Chase.
got it deep downfield.
Big time play right there. Let's go.
And they catch up to him, but not until he's got a huge gain.
Let's go with
and
a hurry up
first
here.
down. He sends this one to the end zone.
Oh!
Oh, that's a tough
Almost had
one.
the catch.
Bringing the touchdown clean. It falls incomplete. It's going to be 2nd down.
35 seconds. We only got 1 timeout left, so
Burrow from the gun.
I'm gonna sit.
Throwing all the way to the end zone here.
That could have been a pick
A disaster
easily.
averted. He knocks away the deep ball.
We're down to 10
Incomplete.
now.
Last pass unsuccessful, and they have 3rd down here. Here we go. Here's Burrow. Here's a
Higgins,
deep shot towards
come
the
on.
end zone.
Oh my!
Incomplete. Couldn't hang on
Drops
to
a
the
touchdown pass.
T. Higgins
Oh,
is
come
in
on,
the
Higgins.
receiver.
Well, we got McPherson, so
4th and long.
he's only a 74 overall kicker, but McPherson.
And this kick is
All right.
good.
Well, we get a field goal to
Needed
tie
get
things up before halftime. I'll take it. Best that I could do. 2nd and 1.
Nice spot here for the offense. It's 2nd and 1. From the gun, it's Wilson.
Wide open.
The end zone, touchdown.
The Steelers are back in front in an instant.
They're going to throw it on 3rd and long.
Great play. Let's go. Touchdown, Bengals.
The Bengals start the second
Big play
half.
right there. Main with the catch. But we missed the extra point. Are you kidding me? Oh, my goodness. Kicker might be a position to upgrade if you're doing something like that, McPherson. That could have cost us the game.
Harris once
So at least
more.
made it tougher. There's a flag, though. Hopefully this is holding.
Looks like this
Please be
one's
holding
on
on them. Please be holding on them.
Holding. Offense.
Yes. Thank you.
Well, partner, they say there's holding on every play.
Perfect.
You just got to look for it, right? That time, though,
All
we
right,
did
so
not
that
get
helps
too
us out.
hard.
Backs him up a little bit. Really want to just hold him to a field goal
Throwing on
here.
3rd, Wilson.
Going down by 8 points, going to make this tougher. Another flag? Hopefully it's another hold. Please have it be another hold.
Down, but there's a flag on the play.
Personal foul. Roughing the pass.
Oh, come on.
Oh,
Oh,
perfectly protected
That's
in
brutal.
today's game, Brock. The refs saw roughing the passer.
Penalty
And his side gets
gives,
first down
penalty
plus some
takes.
yardage.
You take it down.
Goodness
To the
gracious.
you haven't been hit by the guys in
I don't know
this
what you're
league.
thinking on that one, Hubbard.
And you got to protect.
All right, incomplete.
these
Good
poor,
defense.
fragile quarterbacks in this case move the sticks as well.
Couldn't connect on first. It's second down. Wilson now from the gun.
Oh, he was wide open. Oh my gosh, Russ. Russ. Pickens was wide open, and he missed it. We had nobody over there to cover. Wow, that was a bad miss by Wilson.
Third and long for him here. He's got it.
Inches short. Okay, well, I guess they would, I'm not surprised that they're going to try to go for this. I'm not surprised. Although this looks like a passing play here, so I'm glad I'm not playing the run. I did. They caught it. Wow. I thought he was going to drop it. That was a tough pass, a tough catch to make. And we didn't do anything on offense. We just gave them the ball back. We probably turned the ball over, so now... can't stop these guys right now. And there's still 4 minutes left.
It's a gain of 4, and that's a Steelers first down.
Not going to have many more chances on offense.
So now they're going to throw with Wilson. This throw is caught.
All right.
And this one's stopped at the 3-yard line.
Minutes.
That is the epitome of staying on schedule. That kind of completion right there on first down. Well, it opens up the entirety of the playbook for second down. Third and short in your back pocket.
You're down! Why did you just, roll over and let him roll in the end zone? I never understand that animation. But still, we're down 15 points. We got to get points in bunches, right now.
First and 10 now from the 30. Interception last drive doesn't deter them. They're going right back to the air.
That could have been a pick. Thought Burton could maybe get behind him, but he almost did, but Burrow just couldn't quite get it there. On Chase. First down, Chase. Let's go. Okay. Nice job. Nice catch. 1,300 yards, 12 TDs for the season so far for Chase. Pretty good numbers.
Still on the move, coming to the line for first and 10. Burrow to the air now.
Burton. Got it. Another first down, out of bounds. Preserve some of that time. 250 yards, 1 TD for Burrow today so far. Not bad. But that's typical. Our defense hasn't helped out, but Burrow's still going to do his thing and put up great stats. That's the kind of, situation we're in. Well, it's a 2-minute warning. We need to score, right here to have any shot at coming back. We don't have a lot of time, so. We got a couple of big passes, but we need to finish this thing off. Secchi, touchdown, so not quite out of it yet, but still a lot. We do get the extra point. We're down by 8, so there's a chance.
They'll get this drive started.
I feel like they may pass this. We still have all 3 timeouts left. No, they're going to run it. We don't play the run very well. I'm not playing. Well, we played okay. We only limited 2 yards, but still. Okay, so they're going to be running it. Let's play the run. I'm not going to mess around. I'm going to sell after the run and try to prevent Najee from getting at least the first. Okay, good job. Perfect. So we got a fighting chance here. I guess they may throw it here.
Tight end going in motion here. He's back to throw.
I'm going to throw it. Oh my God.
And that's good yardage with a new set of downs.
I had a chance to just let him get the first. Now the game's really over. Can't stop it now.
Goes to a knee.
Well,
Time
came up
winds
short
down
in this one.
This is situational football at its
Couldn't
best.
really
There's
stop the
still some time left to bleed
Steelers.
off the clock.
We
The really
kept it
important
close,
thing here
but we just
is
couldn't
you've got to bleed
overcome
every second
our
of that clock
defense
that
for
you
the
can.
final time this season. Definitely need improvements there.
Off to Harris.
There's no question about that.
This one's brought to a halt at about the 36-yard
But,
line.
it was a heck of a fight.
They'll get
And
that
we didn't
yard
give
back,
up
but
when
no
we were
more.
down
It's 3rd and 10.
31-16. And nearly came back, so had a chance to come back. And, Burrow had a good game, and that's typical. He's going to put up great numbers. Chase is going to do his thing, but unless we get that defense rising to the occasion, we're not gonna be able to win the AFC North. Because, like I said, Steelers have been good this year, and so have the Ravens. These teams have the same record, so we're dealing with two very, very good teams in the division. That's why doing rebuilds to the AFC North and at least, the current state of Madden is pretty tough because you're dealing with two pretty good teams that are going to be consistently decent in the Steelers and the Ravens. And we're learning that in the first year of the rebuild. I mean, both those teams are going to be in the playoffs. Based on the Steelers beating us, based on what the Ravens did, we'll see kind of how the playoffs stack up for year one and get ready for the offseason. So let's go ahead and advance to the divisional. We'll advance through the playoffs and see who gets all the way to the Super Bowl. All right, so let's check out the playoff bracket. The Ravens beat the Dolphins. The Chiefs went on the road and beat the Texans, and then the Steelers beat the Chargers. So we had the Steelers and the Ravens actually facing each other in the postseason. Another chapter in that rivalry. Ravens get the better of the Steelers by only 2 points, 26-24, and the Bills beat the Chiefs 31-17, and the Ravens beat the Bills 31-24. On the NFC side, the Cowboys go on the road and beat the Seattle Seahawks as the number 2 seed. The Seahawks beat the number 2 seed. The Lions beat the Packers, and the Commanders beat the Panthers. So it was the Lions taking down the Commanders, and the Eagles beat the Cowboys by 12. So it was the Eagles actually losing to the Lions in the NFC Championship. So the Lions have made it to the Super Bowl for the first time in their history. And they're going to be taking on the Ravens. So it is Jared Goff against Lamar Jackson for the Super Bowl in the first year of the rebuild. Let's check out the Pro Bowl roster, and we'll see if any of our Bengals made it. Jamar Chase made the Pro Bowl. 99 overall receiver. That is a joy to see. First year, he's already at a 99. Do we have any offensive linemen made it? Probably not. Can't imagine an offensive lineman making it. Probably no defensive players making it either. It might just be Jamar Chase, and that's it, which I would not be surprised about. Yeah, looks like our only Pro Bowler this year was Jamar Chase. I don't know if he was up for any awards like Best Receiver in the AFC or anything like that, so we'll see how the yearly awards are at the end of the year and see if any of the Bengals were in the running for anything there. All right, let's check out yearly awards now. The MVP is Josh Allen. Coach of the Year is Sean McDermott. Joe Burrow finished 8th for MVP. Wow, that's a little bit surprising for an 8-19, but still, you put up those kind of stats, we'll be good there. Jamar Chase finished 4th for Offensive Player of the Year in the AFC, so that's something. All right, let's check out the AFC. Offensive Player of the Year, I already saw that. Defensive Player of the Year went to Khalil Mack. No Bengals. Offensive Rookie of the Year, nobody. Defensive Rookie of the Year, nobody. Best QB, Burrow finished 5th. Best running back, no Bengals. Not surprised. Best receiver in the AFC, Jamar Chase. So he did walk away with some award this year, deserving the accolades. I mean, 99 receiver, that's absolutely a franchise building piece for years to come, with Chase already being up to a 99. So that's good. No offensive lineman. Best defensive lineman, nobody. Actually, no, hold on. Best defensive lineman, Hendrickson actually came in 10th. Best linebacker, nobody. Best DB, Hilton finished 9th. So I'm kind of glad I decided to give him a new contract. And he actually is our number one corner that I look back on it. So even though he's, in the low 80s, like an 81, glad I gave him an extension to keep our number one corner here for pretty much the rest of the rebuild. That's all I can hope for. Best kicker, no sign of McPherson. So, yeah, the only person we had win an award was Jamar Chase won best receiver in the AFC. So that's something. Of course, he had a Pro Bowl honor to his name as well this year. So not bad at all. Let's see who wins the Super Bowl between the Lions and the Ravens in the first year. All right, let's check it out. And the Ravens defeat the Lions 34-15. So the Lions' first appearance in a Super Bowl is a loss. The Ravens win their third Super Bowl championship. The MVP is Lamar Jackson. And Defensive Player of the Year overall did go to Khalil Mack. And the Offensive Rookie of the Year was Jaden Daniels of the Commanders. Defensive Rookie of the Year is Byron Murphy, the second from the Seattle Seahawks. So that's the first year of the rebuild, how everything shapes out. Let's take a look at retirements. I want to see if any of the Bengals retired. I don't really know, but let's see. We had no retirements this year from the Bengals, so that's good. We're going to be able to keep our roster pretty much intact. And let's go ahead and advance to the beginning of the offseason. I don't think we need to pick up anybody's fifth-year option, but let me go ahead and double-check that just to make sure. Dax Hill. Okay, we actually have a fifth-year option we can do on Dax Hill. I will definitely accept that, and we're going to take his fifth-year option. Gesicki and everybody else, like I've said, I'm willing to let walk. Von Bell actually regressed from a 76 at the beginning of the season to a 73. We have $32 million to spend. I'm hoping to rework some of the contracts that I've already dished out to some of the early players, to some of the players that we retained. Hopefully I can do that and give us a little bit more wiggle room. So I'm going to go ahead and simulate to the first stage of the offseason, first wave of free agency, and let me see if I can go restructure some of those contracts while I'm at it. Let's go ahead and check it out here. Joe Burrow's the only QB on the roster, so we're going to need to find a backup quarterback. We can't restructure his deal, and he's got 5 years remaining on his contract. Brown, we could probably restructure his deal. We can. It'll free up $20K. That's pretty good. So Chase Brown, and even though he's a 70, and he's up to an 81 now, so he's actually gotten a little bit better. But I still feel like if there's a really good free agent running back out there, I still feel like it would be worth it to go and get him. Kendall Milton, can we restructure him? No, we can't. Let's see. Penalty would actually be 0, so I'm going to see if I can actually go ahead and release this guy. Free up a little bit of money. We'll go with, 2 running backs to start the offseason. We're going to need a new fullback, of course. Jamar Chase, of course, has a big new deal. We can't restructure it. So how many years does he have left? This guy has got probably a lot of years left. Oh, he only has 1 year left on his deal? Ooh, that's going to be a lot to work through. All right, well, let's see about T. Higgins. I know we got him on a big deal. Can we restructure his deal? Yes, we can. It'll free up $5.25 million. That helps. Let's see. What about Andre? We can restructure his deal. And that'll free up $20K. That's good. I feel like with this rebuild, because of the things that I've learned with other rebuilds that I've done, I really need to restructure every contract that I can the first off season to just kind of get ahead of the curve, so that way I don't have to worry about it in the future. And let's see, some of these players we can actually cut with no penalty. It'll free up. I'm going to release Charlie Jones because that'll free up a decent amount of money. So I'm going to it'll free up $1.14 million. I know that's kind of like pennies, but still. Isaiah Williams, I don't think we can restructure his deal or anything like that. No, we can't. Okay. Well, I want to keep some receivers on the roster. We'll probably look for another receiver, maybe like a third guy, fourth guy. 71 tight end Eric All Jr. is right now our starter. So that's why I was okay with letting Gesicki walk, because I feel like All Jr. could be somebody who could be, a starter fringe guy, but I think a tight end could still use an upgrade. Maybe we can find somebody in the draft to fill that position. Can Sample's contract be restructured? No, it can't. Sample has 2 years left on his deal, so I think tight end depth will be taken care of for the foreseeable future. What about Orlando Brown's deal? He's got 2 years left on his contract. 80 overall, so he has gotten up to the 80s. So that instantly makes our offensive line look a little bit more respectable. Left guard, Volson is not that bad. I don't know how many upgrades will be there in the offseason, but I definitely want to at least get a backup left guard for depth. 77 Karras is not bad for a center. He's only got 1 year left on his deal. Lee has 3 years left on his contract. So that's, decent depth we have at center, even after Karras potentially leaves next season. Kappa, 30 years old, 72. Probably won't be a lot of upgrades there. Trent Brown is our top offensive lineman, 85 overall. He's still got 2 years left on his deal. What about Mims? We can't restructure anything with his deal. But, Mims could be a guy that could get up to the 80s pretty soon. So that gives me a little bit of confidence that, that'll be okay. Cochran, I think, honestly, even though he's a 60, I'm going to release him to give me some more cap room there. Because any time I see penalty is 0, it means that I can release these players. Hubbard's going to be at the end of his deal, but Miles Murphy could be a guy that I look at as being a starter, but that'll free up $460K if I restructure his deal. So that helps. And as far as Cedric Johnson, a 68 overall guy, don't really feel there's going to be, much free $1 million. So, yeah, let's go ahead and release him. Hendrickson still has 1 year left. Our defensive ends are in the last year of their contracts, so we're going to need to do some stuff there. Chris Jenkins is somebody I look at as maybe possibly a future starter, but at 76, we're going to need at least a bridge guy, at least an 80 overall guy to help out there. So we need left outside linebackers for sure. We didn't even have one on the roster to start the season. I had to go out and sign a couple of guys. Pratt's going to be on the last year of his deal as well. What about Logan Wilson? I restructured his deal. He's got 3 years left. Okay, we can't do that. But 81 overall, he's our top linebacker, basically. So pretty valuable there. As far as corners, we got Britt on the last year of his deal. Hilton's only here for 1 more year. Dax Hill, we picked up, of course, his 5th-year option. Can we already restructure his deal? We actually can. Okay, to free up $620K. That's actually pretty good. Free up a little bit of that money. What about Turner? Can we restructure his deal? Yeah, we can. He's up to an 81? Wow, okay, so our cornerback room is getting even better than I thought. We got 4 corners in the 80s. That's better than we started the season, so that's promising. Josh Newton, 72. Depth, that's decent. Can't restructure his deal, though. And let me see about Ivy really quick. DJ Ivy. Can restructure his deal to free up $20K. That's pretty good. Maybe able to go harder in free agency in the first off season. Anthony has 3 years left on his deal, so he's still getting his feet wet. Our top 2 free safeties are ending their last year of their contracts. We got Stone, we got Anderson, Battle, starting strong safety, 76 overall, which is pretty good. Oh, wow, 130. Well, 130K is actually not that much. So I thought it was like 130 million. I looked at it wrong for a second. Okay, so that helps. McPherson, don't think we can restructure him. No, we can actually. Free up 920K. 76 kicker is not that bad. And if we got a kicker on the roster and we don't need to replace him, then I'm not going to sweat it so much. All right, I think I've done all the restructuring of contracts, and I've released some players to free up some space, so that way we got more money to spend in free agency. Because right now, we jumped from having like $32 million to $42.9 million to spend in free agency, which definitely helps out. So that's what we're looking at right now. Okay, well, first things first, I got to see what positions we really need to get a starter at, if I'm being frank. I feel like that because Brown is actually up to an 81 now, might be able to bypass a major free agent running back, but probably get a secondary guy for depth reasons. I still think tight end could be an investment, so let me take a look at some skill positions on offense as far as who is out here, who's available this year. Amari Cooper's out there, of course, but the top guy is Justin Reed, who's an 88 strong safety. But battle at a 76 is actually not that bad. But what about halfbacks? There's some decent guys out here. Rico Dowdle's an 82, but no real serious upgrades from what we already have. So I'm not going to really get serious about that. What about tight ends? Is there a tight end out there? Well, Gesicki, who we let walk, was our top-rated guy. So yeah. So, Harrison Bryant would be an upgrade. Let me see about this team-friendly deal. Will this even put us in the running for his services? Looks like it will, so I'm not going to spend too much on that. Left tackle, we're good. What about the offensive line now? And that could use a bit of a shot in the arm for sure, as far as the offensive line is concerned. So, okay, actually 79 Orlando Brown, 74, 77, 72, 85. Okay, well, I did talk about that I was going to sign backups at these positions, but I don't really want to get like backups. I want to get guys that I feel like could be starters. Oh, I know what I need to do. Left outside linebacker for sure. We got to go out and get a starter. Left outside linebacker. The top guy is Jadeveon Clowney. Okay, that would be, yeah, this looks like, yeah, I got to get in on this one. Doesn't look like he wants anything too big, so I mean, I'm on a neutral deal for him for 1 year. This may be good enough to loop in Jadeveon Clowney. We absolutely need a starter left outside linebacker. I know he'd be really a bridge player at 32 years old. Only be on a 1 year deal anyway, but still, I mean, I think that would be a solid move to get a starter there. Give us that starter that we need. All right, so let's take a look at now some more offensive linemen. I want to see, is there anybody offensive line that's like in the 80s? Well, I mean, we're pretty good we're good at center. We don't really need an upgrade at center. Really no upgrades at left guard either. So, yeah, it looks like when it comes to the offensive line, we're just going to be looking at getting some guys for depth. Defensive ends don't look too promising. But we do need, I think, some defensive tackle help if I stand corrected. I think we let Hill walk, so we're going to need some upgrades there at defensive tackle. Who's our top-rated defensive tackle as of right now? 76, Chris Jenkins Jr. Is there a guy I don't even know if there's a guy that's rated higher than him. I don't think there is, as far as defensive tackles are concerned. Well, I mean, Tart's there, and DJ Jones is there as well. I'm going to go after DJ Jones, mainly just to get some more depth on the defensive tackle position. We're his only offer, and we're going with a team-friendly deal, so he'll probably take that. So that'll be kind of like a fringe starter for us with getting Jones. I mean, Bobby Wagner is available, and so is Levante David. These are both old guys. These guys are both 35 years old. What's our middle linebackers rating? I want to see what our middle linebacker rating is. Because I know Logan Wilson's our top linebacker. Oh, it's Pratt. What's his rating again? I think it's like a 78 or something. What's Pratt's rating again? 79. Okay, well, Pratt's rating is 79. That's not all that bad to me, so I think I'm just going to let that walk. What positions do we not have any of? I know we don't have a fullback. Yeah, we got no fullbacks. Didn't really see any upgrades at defensive end, at least on the left side. And right end, we're pretty good. We're getting a starter there. Corners were pretty good. Let me check corners, though, and see if there's like a high 80s guy, just to boost this secondary. If there is somebody there. If there's nobody like that, then we're not going to... Nah, there's really nobody. The top guys are still Douglas, Jordan Lewis. Those guys are only 80s. Those aren't really game changers. What about Javon Holland? What's our current free safeties rating? I feel like he's a decent guy. I want to see what his rating is before I go on an 84 overall guy. Oh, Geno Stone, 81. Well, I mean, Stone is going to enter the last year of his deal, but 81 is still pretty solid. Jordan Battle is a 77. Let's check out strong safety and see if there's an 80s guy. If there's a guy in the 80s for that. I doubt it, but let's go ahead and check it out. Ooh, Justin. Oh. I think Reed is the top guy. Let's go out and get a star. This neutral deal even put us in the running. It drops down to $6 million, though. You know what? I'm going to withdraw that offer. That's just too much money to invest in a guy that he might be a 12-point upgrade, only at 28 years old, but that's a lot to invest in him, and we would have to invest like so much because giving him the neutral deal, it like didn't even put us in the top 5. So I don't think it's worth that. Jimmy Ward would be a decent upgrade too, but he really doesn't want to come here. So I would have to offer quite a bit to get him for sure. So I think this is it as far as what I'm going to do. Yeah. Do we need a punter? I know we need a fullback and we need a punter. Let me go ahead and check out those positions first and get who I think could be the top fullback. Yeah, we need a fullback, and we have a kicker. We don't have a punter. Okay, so let's get a fullback and a punter. I'm going to see like the top fullback and a punter is. I know that might not mean much in the grand scheme of things, but if somebody like Juicecheck is there, that might be worth it. Okay, we do need a punter. Ryan Stonehouse, the top guy. He probably doesn't want too much. Let's go with a team-friendly deal and see if he'll take this. All right, it looks like he's up for that, so that's good. Top fullback is Ricard, who's an 83, but I don't want to invest too much. Let's go ahead and just bring in Blossom Game on a team-friendly deal for 1 year, get our starting fullback for next season, so we invest in that. And I think this is it. That's all the negotiation we can do. So free agency for the first year, not really going crazy. Justin Reed was there. I thought about it, but that would have put us, at only $6 million left to do anything with, and it didn't even put us in the top 5, so I'm not going to invest in that. But we're going in on Ryan Stonehouse, 78 punter, Jadeveon Clowney, left outside linebacker starter at 77, DJ Jones, a rotational defensive tackle at 76, Harrison Bryant, 73 tight end. He would be an upgrade, and he would be an instant starter for us, and Kari Blossingame, a 71 fullback, to be our new starter. So hopefully we land all these guys. And for the second wave of free agency, I'm going to see if I can get some guys for depth and get them in here on like 1-year deals to get some backups on the offensive line. That's mainly what I'm looking at. So did we sign anybody? We got Jadeveon Clowney. So we've got our starting left outside linebacker, and we got Harrison Bryant to sign. So we have our starting new left outside linebacker and our starting tight end for next season. So that's good. But we do need depth at the left outside linebacker position. Because we don't have another one on the roster. I am looking at drafting one, though. So I'm going to go with somebody who's cheaper but really wants to come here and is a scheme fit guy, if I can find somebody like that. These guys are really that great. Jameer Jones, he would probably come here on a 1-year cheap deal. So let's go ahead and bring him in to be a backup. And let's see. Where's the only offer? So he's definitely interested in us for sure. So we've got that. What offensive line do we need? I think we need a backup left guard. Let me go ahead and check out our roster again to see what backups we need on the offensive line. I think we're good at left tackle, though. We're good at left tackle. We actually have 3 guys on the roster. Hold on. There we go. All right. Oh, no, we don't. Okay. We need a backup left guard and a backup right guard. Okay, so we need backup guards. We need to get at least one more guard in free agency, even if we get... let's go ahead and get a backup left guard and right guard. Let's get 2 backup guards, 1 for each side. Somebody that preferably wants to come here, though. A guy like in the... Aaron Spinney. Team-friendly deal for 1 year. Will you take that? Probably he will. Right guard. Risner is still there, but you know what? That actually might be an upgrade as far as a starter. Let's see if I can get him in here. Brings us down to $8.6 million. That puts us ahead of the Giants, though, so that's good. That may be a starter for us based on the ranking of our other right guard. So I'm glad I didn't spend all that money at Justin Reed, so that way I can put more of it to positions that we actually need some help in. So, yeah, Kappa is right now our starter, and I think he's in the last year of his deal, if I'm not mistaken. What about the defensive line? We got 2 guys at the defensive end spots. Defensive tackle, we could use a 3rd guy, so I'm going to go get a backup left outside linebacker as well. We need a backup strong safety as well. So let's go see if I can get a backup strong safety and a backup left outside linebacker. I think that's what I need. Backup strong safeties. Let's see what the market is for somebody like that. Let me just go after a guy that's like in the 60s. It's not going to cost us very much at all. Don't have to pay so much to bring them in. Okay, well, there's actually not a lot of guys that are in the 60s that are like super duper interesting coming here. Marquise Bell. There. Isaiah Simmons. Would he take this team-friendly deal? Getting pretty thin with the money here. All right, well, it looks like he would be interested, so that's good. 75 overall is not that bad, actually. Bringing a 75 strong safety, really to be kind of a fringe starter backup type of guy. Kind of challenge the starter. Justin Reed ended up going to the Steelers, so that makes another team that we have to deal with in our division even tougher to deal with. So that's not fun, but it is what it is. Left outside linebackers, we need a backup there too. We already got Jadeveon Clowney in our starter, but we just need somebody to back him up. Oh, I forgot. We already put in an offer for Jones. All right. So second wave of free agency for us. We're targeting some guys for depth. We're still going after, the Ravens actually jumped ahead of us for Stonehouse. All right, well, in the third wave, if Stonehouse does not end up coming to us, we'll go and get another punter. What about, DJ Jones, we're still his only offer. He's still interested. Risner actually would be a starter for us if he were to come here. He'd be better than Kappa. 74 right guard with the 49ers jumped in front of Blossingame. Okay, well, I'm not going to spend a boatload of money on a fullback. If the 49ers want to go grab him, they can. So we could lose Blossingame and Stonehouse potentially to other teams, but let's see what happens. If that happens in the third wave, we'll kind of just pick up the pieces and see who else we can get at punter and fullback. All right, so let's see what we got. So it looks like we did get DJ Jones to sign. We got Risner to sign. We got Aaron Steeney to sign, and we did sign Jameer Jones. So we've taken care of depth, but it looks like we lost out on the fullback and the punter. So we're going to have to go and get somebody else. Is there a punter that's Gillian? Let me see. Give him a team-friendly deal. I'm sure he'll take this. That's not a whole lot, but, we're his only... Oh, the Colts are actually offering him money, too. Okay, well... All right, well, let's up this a little bit. Let's go with a neutral deal, see if it puts us ahead of the Colts. I don't know how much it will, but let's see. It's got us tied with the Colts, so... Yeah, will this be in the last wave of free agency? I'm going to go ahead and actually withdraw that offer. And I'm going to go after somebody who's even lower than... I'm going to go after this Drew Chrisman guy. Don't know him from anything. I just want a cheap punter. I just want to get a punter to fill up a position on the roster. That's all I'm looking for right now. Okay, we're his only offer. We'll probably be able to land him. Let's go get a fullback. We lost out on Blossingame. Horvath, who we had last year. Let's just go ahead and bring him back on a team-friendly deal for 1 year so we don't break the bank. We're his only offer, so we'll probably be able to land him. All right, so as far as targets, we're still in on Isaiah Simmons. He hasn't made his decision yet, but we're still his only offer, so he'll probably sign with us to give us our backup strong safety. We're going after a different punter in Drew Chrisman, and Xander Horvath is the guy we're going after to be our starting fullback. We had him on the roster last year, just trying to bring him back for 1 year, so that way we can get our fullback for the team this year. All right, let's check out free agency recap and see if we sign any of those guys that we wanted to. We did get Isaiah Simmons, and we got the punter Chrisman, and we got Horvath to come back. So looks like we had a decent free agency class. I mean, we didn't really go crazy with money or anything like that. I didn't get a backup quarterback, which I probably should have gotten. And I thought about maybe I need to get a third running back, but we'll probably find somebody in the draft. I'm willing to go another year with Chase Brown to see how things kind of shape out, but we'll see. Receiver could be another position I look at in the draft to get some depth behind Higgins and Chase, get some young guys in here. I mean, we've got, Andre, he's 2 years in the league, and we've got, Jermaine Burton, who's 1 year in the league, 72 overall, and Isaiah Williams. So we got some young guys, but we can get better there. Harrison Bryant is an upgraded tight end. He is our starting tight end now. We got a 74 and a 71, and of course, Sample is a 70. So, got some there. I'm actually thinking I can probably cut some of these tight ends. So each of them can stay the 7. So I'm going to cut this Cam Grandy guy. Won't free up a whole lot, but free up a little bit since we've kind of upgraded that in free agency. So Volson is still going to be our starter. Steeny is going to back him up. Center, we're good. Dalton Risner is automatically our best starter there. So we got Kappa backing him up. So we got an upgraded right guard. Trent Brown, Mims still back up there. We got Hubbard, got Murphy. Defensive tackle, we were able to get, of course, DJ Jones to sign. We got 276s. Got Chris Jenkins Jr. and DJ Jones. But defensive tackle could be a position I look at in the draft. I'm not ruling that out of the question. And Jadeveon Clowney is probably the biggest name free agent that we got to be our starting new left outside linebacker. He's only going to be here on a 1-year deal, so I don't expect too much from him, but he's a bridge player, 77 overall, and we signed Jameer Jones to back him up at 64 overall. So we got our left outside linebacker situation taken care of. We got Pratt coming back. We got Logan Wilson back here with Haywood. We didn't do anything with corner, but then again, there's not really too much I could do there. There's really nobody I could cut, when penalties and stuff. Isaiah Simmons to be our backup, strong safety. We got a 77 in Jordan Battle, which is pretty solid. We got Stone, we got Anderson, and we've got Anthony. We got McPherson coming back, and we got Drew Chrisman, who's our new punter. We didn't get any backup quarterback, but we can probably look for one in the draft and see where we can go from there. So I want to check out the mock draft 5 and see what they have the Bengals projected to do. What do they have us projected to do? We are picking 17th overall, and they have us projected to take Luther Burden III out of Missouri. He's not a scheme fit guy, but that could be a solid pick. However, I do like Walter Nolan as another option at defensive tackle, scheme fit guy out of Ole Miss. We do need some help at defensive tackle. Denzel Burke could be another option at corner. Just get some more depth at corner for an already good cornerback room who's got basically everybody outside of the low tier of the roster in the 80s. That would be an upgrade. And Colston Loveland, a tight end out of Michigan, that guy could be our instant starter. But, we just signed a new tight end, so I don't know if I want to go forward with that. But some defensive tackles could be there, too. Mason Graham could slip out of Michigan. That could be another option. Harold Perkins Jr., I don't know. Emeka Egbuka. There's this left end, JT. JT slipped, but we're not really looking at a running back this year, I don't think. Maybe Burton might be the guy, but Walter Nolan might be not too bad of an option either. Maybe even Denzel Burke, just because of the Ohio State connection. I don't know. Well, there's a few ways that we could go in the draft. I think I'm just going to do it's really going to be a toss-up for what I want to do with the first-round pick in the draft this year. I could go like one of 3 different ways. All right, let's start the draft, get into it, and see what we can do here. 17th overall pick. See what we can do. All right. And of course, Jenny slipped. He's been nice from down the board. Well, Nolan is rated highest on the board. And, I think it's always best to go with the board, so we're going with Walter Nolan out of Ole Miss, defensive tackle. Going with him, he's a scheme fit guy, and it's a good pick. It's not an excellent pick, but it's a good pick. So, got a potential new starting defensive tackle, which is pretty nice. We have options here. Well, based on the contracts of our defensive ends, I think taking Landon Jackson here out of Arkansas might be a good idea for depth and the future of this defensive line. It says good pick, it's the B-, but still, it says good pick. So they like that one. They're okay with that one. Let's go in the third round here. There's some corners who we're dropping. Kobe Bryant, of course. Trey Harris. We do need some depth at receiver. We took a whole. Let's take defensive tackle's teammate. Good pick. All right, B+ for a third round pick. That's not bad. Some corners are slipping. We could use a backup quarterback. But I'm going to go with the corner, Kobe Bryant out of Kansas. Scheme fit guy, he's slipping. Could be a good pick. Well, it's an average pick, so it's our first average pick of the draft. I do think I'm going to take a quarterback in this draft, but preferably in the later rounds. I don't want to go too high on that. The corners are slipping. It's been a linebacker. Jason Henderson doesn't look too bad, actually. Jack Kaiser out of Notre Dame actually looks like a solid pick right there. We do need some depth at linebacker. Let's draft him. Average pick, but still, C+ is not that bad. 6th round selection here. Kind of slipping a little bit here. We go with this middle linebacker, Francisco Maigoa. Get some depth in middle linebacker. Bad pick. So our first bad pick of the draft is in the 6th round, and we don't have a 7th round pick. So we didn't get a quarterback, but we'll sign 2 before the season begins. Overall, though, pretty solid draft for the first year of the rebuild. I like Nolan. 17th overall pick, 75 defensive tackle. He's not a starter, but he is on the verge of being a starter based on the players we have. Landon Jackson, based on the fact that Henderson and Hubbard could potentially both be gone. I want to keep at least one of those guys this next season. But 73 overall defensive end is pretty good. We drafted Trey Harris, a receiver out of Ole Miss, a teammate of Nolan's. 72 overall, that'll help boost our receiving core on the back end. Kobe Bryant will boost a great cornerback room, 71 overall. Jack Kaiser, left outside linebacker, coming in at 66. Growth there for sure. And middle linebacker Francisco Maigoa from Miami, 65 overall middle linebacker. So overall solid, filled some needs, got some depth, and got a possible starter in our defensive tackle. So that's pretty good. All right, let's adjust the roster here, and let's kind of get everything situated. We do need actually a third running back. We didn't draft a running back in the draft, so yeah. Let me go and see if I can get some of these guys their college numbers. Trey Miss and Ole Miss wide receiver. He wears number 9. Well, that's Joe Burrow's number. I can give him I think Sample wears 89. We got Isaiah Simmons wearing 19. So Harris, you'll wear 45 this season. Draft a tight end. There were some offensive linemen I was tempted to draft, but their ratings were kind of low, so I didn't want to take a gamble on that. So Landon Jackson becomes our second best defensive end on left end behind Hubbard. So we have Landon Jackson out of Arkansas. He wears number 40. Could probably give him that number. Yeah, probably can. 40, yeah. But what? This kid is young and he's bald based on the pictures I'm looking at. I mean, then again, I can't say much. I mean, I'm bald. I mean, well, not bald, but, balding pretty bad. Yeah, whatever. Landon Jackson. So possible future starter there in Landon Jackson. Miles Murphy we drafted, drafted a couple years ago. But Jackson and him could be fighting for a starting job next season if Hubbard does leave and we can't retain him. Of course, we got Hendrickson. I mean, Hubbard is only a 77, so I'm more okay with letting him walk as opposed to Hendrickson. So, yeah, Jenkins. But of course, we drafted Walter Nolan. Now he is, of course, right now third as far as defensive tackles are concerned. Number 2. Okay, I don't know if I can give him number 2 based on the players that I have. No, I can't because I'm McPherson. So I'm going to have him wear 92. Rankins is still here, but he's getting up there in age and 31 years old. He's the oldest guy on the defensive tackle positions. Of course, we signed DJ Jones, but getting Nolan is going to help with the youth movement there, so I think that's good. Kaiser actually is the second guy behind Jadeveon Clowney. Clowney is only going to be here for 1 year anyway, so hopefully Kaiser can learn from him. He's out of Notre Dame. I don't know if 24 is available. It probably isn't. I was wearing 53. We'll keep him at 25 for now. I want to see who's wearing 24. If it's a random player wearing 24, Kobe Bryant. But what's Kobe Bryant's number again, or what was it at Kansas? I keep forgetting. I don't know if it was 8 or if it was a different number. Kobe Bryant. It was number 2. Okay. All right. Well, he wore number 2 at Kansas. Let me see if he can wear is there another guy wearing 22 who's not all right, well, that's Geno Stone. We'll see if Kobe Bryant can take some other number, maybe in the 20s or something like that. Let's give him 32, and we're going to go ahead and give that linebacker 24, Kaiser, Notre Dame. Let's give him his college number 24. Kaiser looks like, if he develops, it could be a starter, but hopefully he's a contributor, at least in the first year that he's here. Francisco was another linebacker we drafted. Francisco Mauigoa. Wore number 1 at Miami, but he wore 51. No, he didn't. Looks like he's number 51. Okay. Do we have somebody wearing 51 already, though? Guess not. Okay. Looks like he wore number 1 at Miami, but he probably wore 51. So he wore that at Washington State, where he spent a lot of time. I guess somebody is already wearing 51. Let's see who that is. It's probably an offensive lineman or a defensive guy. Isaiah Thomas. Let's change Isaiah Thomas's number to something else. No, I don't want to release you. I want to change your number. Let's change Isaiah Thomas's number to some other number in the 50s. Let's change his number to 53. And let's give Francisco his college number 51, or one of the numbers he wore in college. Let's give him that. Okay, solid. Brian over 32 for this season. Our cornerback room has some good young guys as far as depth. Got Josh Newton. Got 3 guys in the 80s. They got 4 guys in the 80s. 3 are already 81, and they're still got some room to grow. So we got Hill here for a little while, so pretty good there. Let's see, Simmons. I think we're good as far as numbers are concerned and positions. But we do need to sign a couple of players start the season. We need 2 backup quarterbacks, and I think at least 1 backup running back. So I think that's what I'm going to go with. I'm going to go ahead and sign Kareem Hunt, backup running back for us this season. And let me go out and get a couple quarterbacks. Bring in Cooper Rush to be a backup. And I'm also going to bring in Nick Mullins as well. All right, let me go ahead and take a look at the roster really quick. I don't really see any other free agents that could be instant upgrades for us. Micah Hyde looks like he was the best available free agent. But I don't think that would really be a big help. Let's see. Kareem Hunt originally were like 27. Okay, well, Jordan Ballard's wearing that. So Kareem Hunt maybe could wear like 25 or something like that. Let's give him 25. So we got our backup running back now. Zach Moss as well. Jamar Chase is hurt to start off the preseason. That's not a great sign. Good depth there. Good depth there. Good corner. Good free safety. I think we're good as far as depth. We don't need anybody else. Rogers at 58, so still. Let me actually go out and see, are there any free agents that could be upgrades over what we have already? Because you never know sometimes. Looks like really nobody. Yeah. Shaq Barrett. I don't think he could be much of a help. Not with Logan Wilson there. Yeah, I don't think there's any other moves in free agency we could do to bolster the roster. So that's going to do it for part 1 of the Madden 25 Cincinnati Bengals rebuild. Finished the first season 8-9, which is kind of about, honestly, where I expected us to finish the season based on how tough our division is and the changes that we have to make on defense. What really felt like I wasn't able to do much of an upgrade on the defense in the first off season. But then again, when you have a certain number of money that you can spend, and, yes, I could have gone out and gotten Justin Reed to instantly be a starting strong safety and instantly upgrade that position. That was just too much money to throw at one single player. And I needed to fill up, other positions with depth. And that's why the top-rated free safety that we got was arguably Jadeveon Clowney. He was the highest-rated, player that we got at 77. So just felt like, hey, spread the money out and don't throw it all at one player, because that's how you get in, cap hell, and you can't do anything with any other players by the time that you start a season. And, for a lot of these rebuilds, I've gotten in the negative cap. So, I'm trying to avoid that in the first year if I can. So hopefully, this roster will be a little bit better. Maybe we can fight our way into the playoffs this next season coming up. But we'll see. You never know. So thank you all for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Take care.